Hello everybody, I'm Shiba from LB5236 Comparative Global Business Systems class. Today, I want to give a video lecture about the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. In this video, I will highlight historical backgrounds, political and economic structures, political and economic systems, legislative systems, cultures, nature of business systems, finance and banking systems, ethical matters, and how they may affect the businesses. The Republic of the Union of Myanmar was also known as Burma for a decade ago. It is one of the member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It is also a sovereign state located in the Southeast Asia, and the neighbor countries are Bangladesh, India, China, Laos, and Thailand. The capital city of Myanmar is Naypyidaw. However, Yangon is the commercial and the largest city of Myanmar. There are more than 135 different ethnic groups, and the majority is Burma people. They own 68% of the country. There are 8 official languages such as Burmese, Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Mon, Rakhine, and Shan. The main religion is Buddhism, and there are also other religions such as Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam. According to the World Bank 2016, the population of Myanmar was over 53 million, and the country's GDP was over 62 billion US dollar in 2015. Myanmar was once colonized by Britain, and British colonial rule in Myanmar lasted from 1824 to 1948 before independence. British colonial rule brought social, economic, cultural, and administrative changes in Myanmar. Myanmar became an independent republic on 4 January 1948. From 1962 to 2011, Myanmar was under the military government, and military rule brought several changes in Myanmar. In 1962, U Ne Win became the first general of Myanmar and took control of the country. Later, he formed the Revolutionary Council and started to implement economic policies that had disastrous consequences for the economy. Since then, the resource-rich country had faced the challenges of depletion of natural resources and reduction of foreign investments. In 1993, Senior General Than Shwe continuously took control of Myanmar, that contributed to a leading role of the military in political and economic affairs. As a consequence, there were a lot of internal conflicts and riots within the country, and a lot of people were killed at that time. There were also a high number of political prisoners as well as cases of serious human rights abuse. Then, the country's situation became worse and worse than before. In 2011, Prime Minister Thein Sein of the military government became the first president of Myanmar. During his first term, he initiated political, socio-economic, and administrative reforms. He released more than 1,000 political prisoners and started a reconciliation with the National League for Democracy Party (NLD) and its leader Aung San Suu Kyi. He eased censorship, proposed new laws on freedom of association and the formation of trade unions. This liberalization has allowed the country to recalibrate its foreign relations and to attract more foreign investors. Since 2016 till now, Thein Join has become the first president of Myanmar from NLD party with no ties to the military. And the Nobel Peace Prize winner Aung San Suu Kyi, who led the country's struggle for democracy and endured years under house arrest before leading her party, the National League for Democracy (NLD), has become the first and incumbent state councillor of the country. Both of them has made a lot of reforms in political, legal, economic, and other sectors. Since Thein Join has become the first president of Myanmar and Aung San Suu Kyi has become the first and incumbent state councillor of the country, there has been a lot of political and economic reforms. However, it still needs a lot of changes. Firstly, failed ceasefire. The country also remains at war with itself. Since independence from Britain, Armed groups vowing to represent the interests of ethnic minorities have been taking up arms against Burma's central government. A ceasefire signed in 2015 failed to include the groups who still control territory along the border with China. Fighting in the country's northeast is still continuing, and the government is also resolving the problems. Secondly, broken economy. Myanmar economy is steadily booming and GDP is also increasing, but the government needs a certain period for repairing the years of mismanagement and economic recessions. The infrastructures are still crumbling, and major cities still suffer frequent power failure. The government gradually resolves the barriers of foreign investment, such as land grabbing concerns, poorly enforced employment standards, rampant child labor, and an economy dominated by cronies of the former military companies. Thirdly, the Golden Triangle. The drug trade flourishes in the unruly, mountainous area known as the Golden Triangle, bordering Thailand, China, and Laos. The government still fights for the drug challenges, which affects the business along the borders. The legislative authority is vested in the Bidangsu Luthor, the national parliament, which comprises of the two Luthors, namely the Bidul Luthor, the People's Assembly or House of Representatives, and the Amyuda Luthor, the National Assembly or Senate. The Bidul Luthor is formed with a maximum of 440 seats, comprises of not more than 330 representatives elected on the basis of the township, as well as population, and not more than 110 representatives who are the defense services personnel nominated by the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Services. The Amyuda Luthor is formed with a maximum of 224 seats, comprises of 168 representatives elected in equal numbers from regions as well as states, and 56 representatives who are the Defense Services personnel nominated by the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Services. For large foreign investments, they need to wait at least 1 month to get the permit from the government because the decisions are made by the approval of both Bidul Luthor and Amyuda Luthor. Myanmar culture has been heavily influenced by Buddhism and also by the neighbors India and China. The style of communication is very indirect. Many people do not give the right answers, and people often say yes when they do not really mean it, because saying no can often seem confrontational in Myanmar. This may be a barrier for doing international business with foreign country people, especially Western people. Myanmar people never call someone by name, like Western countries, because they believe that it is rude, so they always call uncle, auntie, brother, and sister. They believe that men are nobler than women, and mostly men get high positions compared to women. When international businesses come to Myanmar, this kind of perception makes men difficult to accept women managers and executives. When people got married, most men earn money for the household and women stay at home and do housework. However, social media makes changes in some people's beliefs, and some women currently also work after they got married. This is really good for international and new businesses to hire employees with suitable salaries. Most people are used to the accumulation of capital, and some rich people always spend their money on real estate because they are high-risk adverse people. This leads to the business not to afford to make the investment and become stagnant businesses in the competitive global market. Most Myanmar businesses are controlled by the state, and they practice hierarchical organizational structures in the business organizations. There is a lack of relationship between managers and employees. This is not effective within the organizations, and the productivity level will go down. Most business networks are based on bamboo networks, where personal relationships are used to drive cooperation between firms. When most businesses mainly focus on personal relationships, this is really a big challenge for getting outstanding and talented business partners from outside. Consequently, this will adversely affect the future businesses. In the management, Managing philosophy is based on loyalty, nepotism, collectivism, and a high tolerance of ambiguity. Family and relatives have the authority and they lead the businesses. So, bias and favoritism have occurred. And this leads to not encouraging the potential employees to work hard and increasing a high turnover of staff. Decision making is centralized and orders come from the top level of the management. The employees not from the top management members have no opportunities to participate in decision making. And the new ideas are limited to only the top management members. Human resource management is an issue most local companies are unfamiliar with. Within local companies, employees who are assigned to the HR department are usually inexperienced and unfamiliar with the job scope. Therefore, they are unable to perform the company's needs. Now, local business people are trying to upgrade their business systems by sending one generation to study abroad or hiring foreign professional executives or managers to provide training for the employees and enhance their skills. At present, Myanmar's financial and banking systems are developing steadily. However, it still remains a cash-oriented economy, and a large informal banking system for foreign exchange in the black market still exists and very popular. A history of high inflation, bank runs, and insider lending has fueled public distrust of the finance and banking systems. According to Chiltons, less than 10% of Myanmar citizens have a bank account and less than 0.1% of the people are active in the credit market. Another factor of not popularity in banking systems is underdeveloped technology, especially in low wireless speed, which makes the business slow down. Due to the law of the Central Bank of Myanmar in 1990s, foreign banks in Myanmar are only permitted to open representative office. However, the Central Bank of Myanmar currently updates the law with three phases for the foreign banks to enter Myanmar. In the first phase, joint ventures with local banks will be permitted. In the second phase, foreign banks will be permitted to establish locally incorporated 100% foreign-owned subsidiaries. In the third phase, they will be permitted to open branches. In this way, the government tried to develop the finance and banking systems and attract more international businesses. Firstly, employment practices. According to minimum wage law, minimum wage is prescribed for all enterprises with more than 50 employees. In the notification of February 2015, the minimum wage is Myanmar just 3,600 per day for 8 hours of work, excluding break time. For such purpose, the minimum wage law defines wage as the basic salary, excluding pension and gratuity payments, social security cash benefits, allowances, and severance payments. It raises pay for workers at the bottom level of the labor market, so it reduces pay inequality and family poverty rates. Raising the minimum wage does not automatically mean that employment will fall. Businesses can cover the increased labor costs through savings of reduced worker turnover and improved efficiency and higher profits. According to minimum wage law, both employers and employees are more effective and productive in their businesses. Secondly, human rights. As Myanmar became a democracy country, the government encourages human rights. According to practicing human rights, the conflicts within the workplace and the society are reduced. The more the reduction in conflicts increased, the more the stability of doing businesses increased. Thirdly, environmental regulations. The government of Myanmar has publicly stated its commitment to a development path that is not only economically strong, but also socially and environmentally sustainable for the citizens. According to environmental conservation law, the government tries to make sure to improve the environmental quality standards on emissions, affluents, solid waste, and protection procedures. Therefore, foreign investors can also consider environmental and social standards which govern their operations in other countries and apply best practices to maintain the environment and human well-being in Myanmar. In conclusion, even though Myanmar state needs a lot of improvement in the country affairs, the country has many potentials to succeed in the future. These are my references, and thank you for listening to my video lecture.